Thanks for staying with us. The ANC's National Executive Committee will meet today to discuss, among other issues, the Premier candidate for the Northwest Province. eNCA Samkele Maseko joins us now from the venue where that meeting is taking place. Samkele, are the discussions expected to be robust, or is it merely the rubber stamping of key decisions and key appointments?
The discussions are robust because, for instance, we were taken closer to the venue, literally a door away from where they are meeting, and we had to be moved when they were starting to deliberate on the issue of the Northwest Province between Pinky Muloi and Professor Job Mohoro for the Northwest Premiership. But I'm not going to speak much. I'm going to throw to the ANC spokesperson, Pule Mabe, whom I hope will give us answers and clarity on these specific questions. Mr. Mabe, who is the Premier candidate or Premier-elect for the Northwest Province?
Well, Samkele, I can tell you and the people of South Africa watching this now that by the time the NEC conclude today, we will have resolved on the question of the Northwest, and we will be able to place it out in the public. What is guiding our discussions really is the point we've overemphasized in the past: the stability of that province, the unity of our people, and to make sure that the renewal program that the Secretary General and our President have been emphasizing on in the different platforms where they've been addressing, that is very important to make sure that we return the Northwest to levels of stability.
Who are the Premier candidates that you are discussing in this meeting? Is it Pinky Muloi or Professor Job Mohoro?
Well, we are not even there. What we'll do is that when we finish and conclude this meeting, we'll be able to communicate a sense of clarity to the people of this country.
Whom is most likely to be the Premier candidate, Professor Job Mohoro or Pinky Muloi?
Well, to assist you, Samkele, it is important that we do not throw a lot of names in that way. The NEC is in session. The Secretary General has told you that when we conclude with this NEC, we will have a name of a Premier-elect for the province of the Northwest. Will be able to communicate a clear message. We are picking up all of these issues from yourselves in the media. Seeing that you are here, I can tell you now that you will be amongst the few journalists who will know well in time and convey the message to our people in the country on what we shall have resolved on.
What other issues are you deliberating on this issue? Is there any particular agenda particular item on the agenda when it comes to who becomes the chief whip, who becomes the speaker-elect of the National Assembly?
The Secretary General has already spoken about that when he did the doorstep interview. He did indicate that we're also finalizing on presiding officers, on the question of the speaker, on the chief whip of the majority party, on the chair of chairs, and numerous other positions, including those of the NCOP. You will know that tomorrow there is a caucus. We need to brief our comrades who are deployed in the 6th Parliament on some of those things.
Will he be at liberty to share those names once they're resolved upon, once the NEC is done?
We're a very transparent movement. We lead the people of this country out of transparency. When we are done, we'll be able to communicate a clear message to the people of this country.
I'm now going to steal the SG of the Youth League. They've been raising an issue of 20% youth representation in the National Assembly. He seems to be shy and wants to run away. Mr. Nzuza, what's happening with your issue of representation within the cabinet of President Ramaphosa? The NEC is in session. Are you raising your issues in that National Executive Committee?
Yes, we have been raising our issues. We have been consistent. This is not just a decision of an NEC. It's a decision that was taken in 2015. It has been implemented in the local government in 2016. It was also implemented as part of the guidelines. All that we are saying is that that decision must continue to be implemented and it must not stop. And obviously the cabinet has not been set up yet. All that we are raising is that there must be consistency in the application of the decisions of the ANC.
Who are amongst the young leaders within your own ranks that you've identified that can hold those ministerial positions?
We haven't identified anyone. We have not had a meeting to identify anyone. But what I must insist is that 20% is not 20% youth league leaders, but it is 20% youth representation who might be coming from various streams of struggle. As it has been implemented even in the list, it is not only youth league leaders who are in the list, but it is people who are coming from various streams of struggle, some from the student movement, some from the Fees Must Fall movement. And our representation is not for ourselves, but to represent young people.
As the Youth League, are you not concerned with the current happenings in the eThekwini region surrounding the Mayor Zandile Gumede?
Well, we are concerned about instability wherever it shows its head within the movement, and it is not just only about eThekwini, but obviously we'll have to interact with our structures in eThekwini to get more perspective on the issue. As you will know that, we are coming from the officials' meetings yesterday, today it's NEC, tomorrow it's caucus and so on, but we'll have time to engage with them to get a proper clarity, and they have more authority to talk on those issues rather than us sitting here at National.
Should she resign?
We don't know the circumstances. How can I make a recommendation to say that a person must resign or not resign if we have not even received the recommendations? In any way, I was here to speak about the issue of 20% youth representation, Samkele.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Njabulons, who's the SG of the Youth League. Mr. Pule, my last question to yourself. eThekwini, what is the ANC deliberating on that particular issue?
Well, Samki, the only problem is that you are asking all of us the same question and expecting to get different answers. That is very dangerous. We are one organization. And I can assure you that when the ANC speaks on this matter, it is going to speak in one voice. It's like administering the same medication on the same patient, expecting to get different results.
But Mr. Mabe, the critical question is she a person of caliber, of integrity, of ethos that espouse the ethics of your own organization, the African National Congress? Can a person charged with the charges she's facing and allegations of fraud, malfeasance that she's alleged to have been part of and taken in by the Hawks and appeared in the Commercial Crimes Court, is that person fit to represent your organization if you are saying you are rebranding, it's a new dawn, it's renewal?
The Secretary General has already spoken. Unless you are expecting me to contradict the position of the SG, I need to assist you to understand that the ANC is one organization. The SG has told you before that we will be getting reports from the province and the region to understand the circumstances surrounding the case and the measures that have been taken, if any. Once we are taken into confidence on those things, we'll be able to communicate and convey a message that is informed by that kind of clarity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pulemabe. That was Mr. Pulemabe, the ANC spokesperson, speaking on the processes that by the end of business today, they will have a decision on who will be the premier-elect for the Northwest Province, who will be a speaker-elect for them for the National Assembly. You understand that they have a caucus meeting as the ANC caucus. All 230 MPs will have their caucus meeting tomorrow. Who will be their chief whip of the majority party and the chair of chairs when it comes to the presiding officers within the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces. And also speaking on the issue of currently legally embattled eThekwini Mayor Zandile Gumede in that troubled region of the ANC. It's in fact its biggest region in KwaZulu-Natal, eThekwini region. We're supposed to speak to the Provincial Secretary Mdumiseni Ntuli. He said he would come back later on and revert to us once he's given a report back to the ANC NEC, and once a particular task that has been given to fellow leaders in KwaZulu-Natal in the eThekwini region has been performed. We're yet to hear from him.
The chair of chairs, it sounds like something out of Game of Thrones. Thank you so much. Samkele Maseko reporting to us live there from Cape Town, where the ANC's National Executive Committee are having heated or robust conversations, according to Samkele. We'll have